afternoon, you're watching ABC News. This is ABC Midday, and I am Peggy Nyakwambano. Coming up in the next hour. The Tamale High Court has ordered a rerun of the Pandai parliamentary election, directing that a fresh poll be held within 30 days from today. Meanwhile, incumbent MP Matthew Nyindam has filed for an appeal and stay of execution of the court's ruling. Former Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia continues to dominate the New Patriotic Party presidential primaries scheduled for January 2026, according to a new survey conducted by Global Info Analytics. Still to come, a staff member of the Electoral Commission has petitioned President John Dramani Mahama to initiate the removal of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensah, and her two deputies. In business, the U.S. government has removed the 15% tariff imposed on Ghana's cocoa and selected agricultural products. On the international front, 3 suicide bombers launched an attack on the headquarters of Pakistan's frontier constabulary in Peshawar on Monday, killing 3 parliamentary personnel and injuring at least 5 others. Stay with us, we have details of these and more coming up shortly. Watching Midday News here on ABC News Ghana Television. We're streaming live on Facebook at ABC News GH_now. To our stories. The Tamale High Court has ordered a rerun of the Pandai parliamentary election, directing that a fresh poll be held within 30 days from today. The decision, delivered by His Lordship Emmanuel Brew Planche, follows a legal challenge to the results of the 2024 parliamentary election in the constituency. The petition alleged irregularities in the voting and collation processes that undermined the credibility of the outcome. The former Member of Parliament and National Democratic Congress parliamentary candidate for Pandai, Daniel Nsala Wapal, filed a suit challenging the election of Matthew Nyindam as MP. Now, according to Wapal, the parliamentary election held in the Pandai constituency on December 7 was invalid. He argued that there were irregularities and inconsistencies in Form 8A Regulation 32 Clause 1 and 39 Sub 2 statements of polls for the office of Member of Parliament, pink sheet, for 41 polling stations out of the 152 polling stations in the constituency. In his judgment, Justice Planche upheld the petition and ordered the Electoral Commission to organize a new election to determine the rightful winner. Meanwhile, lawyers for the Member of Parliament for Pandai, Matthew Nyindam, of the New Patriotic Party, have filed a notice of appeal and stay of execution against the recent High Court's decision that nullified his election and ordered a rerun. The Tamale High Court, presided over by Justice Emmanuel Brew Planche, nullified the December 2024 parliamentary election for the Pandai constituency. The court ordered the Electoral Commission to conduct a fresh election in the entire constituency within 30 days. Matthew Nyindam disagreed with the High Court's decision and maintained that he is still the legitimate MP for Pandai. His legal team has initiated the process to challenge the ruling in higher court. The filing of the application for a stay of execution aims to prevent the immediate implementation of the High Court order for a rerun while the appeal process is pending. The outcome of the stay application will determine if the rerun proceeds or ordered by the High Court or is put on hold until the appeal is heard. Joining us on the line is Haruna Mohammed, Deputy General Secretary of the NPP. Good afternoon, sir, and thank you for joining us. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us.
I'm finding it difficult to hear you.
Is it clear now?
Yes, it's now clear.
All right. Now, the Tamale High Court has ordered the Electoral Commission to conduct a rerun at Midday following a ruling that showed that the 2024 election favored the NPP, but then now he is saying that it should be nullified and then a rerun should be conducted. I want to take your thoughts on that.
Thank you very much. I will say good afternoon to your cherished viewers and listeners across the globe. It is true today we're in court and the judge passed a ruling even before we started court proceedings. The NC and its supporters are already jubilating outside, which was a clear indication of their knowledge of what is going to happen in court this morning. Because we also know, we knew what was going to happen because of previous discussions and commentary by the NDC people with respect to the case. We prepared ourselves to make sure that there was notice of appeal and then stay of execution on the matter, which was with our lawyer. So eventually when the judge passed the ruling, we served him a notice of appeal and stay of execution, which the judge threw away in the full glare of the court, which is one aspect of the contempt of court. For us, we are fully prepared to follow the case through. The crux of the matter is that we have 152 polling stations in Midday. The NDC had issues with 41 polling stations that they sent to court. So it was this 41 polling stations, fences, and what have you that has brought to the court. If for anything at all, the judge would have been passing a judgment on the 41 polling stations. You would understand and appreciate the judge be even indicating and passing a judgment over all that has happened in the constituency. So all the agents and supporters, those who stood for the NDC, signed all the 152 pages, and they never contested anything. The issue here on the 41 that they are contending is because of the movement or the transfer or the change in venue of the coalition center. And in CI 127, Regulation 48, indicates your absence in the coalition of certain results does not invalidate the results. There was chaos in that center. Then the Electoral Commission is mandated by law to change a safe place for coalition. So if that is done and you refuse to follow the Electoral Commission to the change to venue, does not invalidate the number of polling stations that has been collated. That is the crux of the matter. But the judge says that all the 152 should be rerun. We have filed a competent case. We have filed it at the court, and we have filed a stay of execution, and we have filed an appeal. And we shall meet at the appeal court. And 30 December, we shall meet before the judge.
All right. Earlier, you mentioned that you predicted that the ruling was not going to go in your favor, hence your lawyers were ready to file an appeal and stay of execution. Why is that so?
Because there is records. When you go and check the Ablikmanov elections, when we filed for a stay of execution on the matter, what happened, the judgment that was given by the judge was that that eventually when our candidate wins the case, he'll be compensated. If you read the 1992 Constitution and you read the CI 127, which borders on election, there is nothing like compensation. So why will a judge, a high court judge, talk about compensation on a matter that is merited in giving out what belongs to Caesar? So we noted that one down. Then Abronya also went to court. A judge, a high court judge, indicated that everybody is not equal before the law, which is contrary to the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, including the president. Nobody is above the laws of Ghana. But we're told that in the animal farm, nobody, even there are animals that are bigger than the others. And that's not, we are not in animal farm. Ghana is not an animal farm. It's not in an animal kingdom. So a judge, this is contained in the judgment that was given by the judge. A lot of things were said in that particular judgment. This was an insult and on the judge, on judicial jurisprudence in this country. And knowing them and what they said in opposition and what they have done to Chief Justice Tukono, removing a Chief Justice alone is not a mere thing that this is done. And then what about packing the court with over 60-something judges and rewarding judges who have done work for them? So from opposition, they said there are people who join the judiciary so that they will be able to pack them. And they have been able to do so. So, and when you are eating with the devil, you need to eat with a long spoon. So we were eating with a long spoon when we went to court. So we made sure that we had our appeal ready and our stay of execution. Should in case that happen, because the MDs have said it outside, that they are going to have a favorable judgment. But for us, we respect the rule of law. We have heard him, but we disagree with the judgment. And that is why we are going on appeal. And that is why we gave him the appeal also in his face. We gave it to him in the court, and he threw it away, which is contempt of court, which we will handle in another way.
All right. Mr. Mohammed, so are you suggesting that the courts, the justice system in Ghana is against the NPP?
Per what is happening today, you all know that what I have just cited, the 1992 Constitution is clear. Everybody is equal before the law. Is that not it? The judge says that everybody is not equal because there are some that are more important than the others. The judge said so. And the judge did not say it in quietness. He said it in open court and recorded that in the judgment in the court record. This is what he said. This is Ghana. It has never happened anywhere before. It has never happened. So if a court can be reduced to such an animal farm kingdom, then we are all going to suffer. The judicial system is going to count down. Today, we have over 7 cases against the removal of Justice Tukono. If a case or if somebody has been removed, which has been challenged in competent court of jurisdiction, and you are replacing the person, and eventually the person wins the case that she's not been properly removed, what are you going to do? You have gone ahead to appoint somebody, you have sworn the person, are you going to dismiss the person? And the dismissal of Chief Justice is stated clearly in Article 146 of the 1992 Constitution. So you don't go about doing this. Look, you cannot be appropriated and reprobated. You cannot do so. And that is what we want everybody to know. That is good they are starting it. Once they have started it, you, the media, have taken cognizance of that. And eventually, if it is being done tomorrow, I believe that this is going to be a and everybody should be well.
Right. Now, should the appeal for a stay of execution be rejected by the court? Is the party ready for a rerun? Hello, sir.
As we said, I am saying that as we said, there's nothing a rerun. We have a stay of execution, which we have filed in a competent court of jurisdiction until the court rules. So why should I be aware of any rerun? As we stand, we have filed a case to stay the execution, and we have also filed an appeal. So as we stand, Matthew Nyindam, Honorable Matthew Nyindam, is the MP for the good people of Panda.
All right, yes. So if the court doesn't approve the case that you filed, is your party ready for a rerun? That is what
let's wait if that condition works.
Okay.
But until that works, I might not be able to read into the future and answer this question.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your time this afternoon, sir.
Thank you.
Right. That was the Deputy General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Haruna Mohammed. So we were talking about the Tamale High Court's ruling for the Electoral Commission to conduct a rerun in Pandai in 41 out of 152 constituencies. Right now, meanwhile, the NP for Pandai, who is an MPP, Martin Yindam, has taken this case to court to file a stay of execution, seeking to halt this rerun, and has been speaking on this issue. We'll try and bring you more conversations on that. Okay, so we have that bite ready. Take a listen.
Well, let me in the first place thank my supporters. Thank the good people of Bandai. And let me put it on record that I'm still their MP. Yes. I want to put it on record that I'm still their MP. Although, like the lawyer said, we were in court. And before we came to court, I can say for sure that for about a week, we knew that things were not going to be right. Our opponents were jubilating. They were saying all manner of things in Bandai. And they were too sure that this is the judgment they were going to get. But as law-abiding citizens, I want to put on record that, yes, we respect what the judge has said. We vehemently disagree with him. I know that I won the election with a difference of 3,734. That is a clear victory. And if you look at the pink sheets, it's on record that they've admitted that every single pink sheet was given to all the political parties. I have my 152 pink sheets. They have their 152 pink sheets. And if you put the results together, we have won the elections. For some reasons, powers that may be, they decided to come to court, and knowing very well that maybe they'll be able to use the state's powers to overturn certain things. But I think that we are in a country that is governed by laws. And that is why the courts are arranged from a lower level to a higher level. So that when a ruling is given at a lower level and you disagree, you move to the next level, which we have done this time. We have completely filed our stay of execution. The lawyer has done that. He's filed the appeal to as well. And we think that God being so good, the next is ours. I'm not afraid, let me put on record that for a run. You see, if genuinely we have to run, we won't have a problem. But if you decide to pave your way through because you think that you are in government and you can use state powers to be able to coerce the people to vote for you, that's where we have a difficulty. In any case, he came to court with 41 polling stations. And these 41 polling stations are areas that I won with huge margins. But they realized that if they get the judgment for even the 41 polling stations, they were going to lose it straight away. So for whatever reason, the judge said that we're going to have a rerun. But we respect it. We have gone to the appeal court. We filed stay of execution, and we will take it from there. It is an interesting story, okay? Because it has never happened before. This is the first time something like this has happened in Ghana. And it should tell all of us that we are not safe. We are not safe. We need to sit up as a nation. Because if the executive can directly come, and you saw the court today, even the regional minister himself was in court. Almost everybody who matters was in court. And that completely told me that, Yale, what you are sensing is what is going to happen.
We also have joining us on the line the Northern Regional Director of Elections and IT for the NDC, Dr. Arnold Mashood Abubakari. Good afternoon, sir, and thank you for your time.
Good afternoon.
Right.
And greetings to your cherished viewers.
Right. Now, the court filed an appeal. Sorry, the court filed a ruling in favor of your candidate, and now the NPP's candidate has also filed an appeal for a stay of execution to halt the rerun. What is your take on that?
Well, I mean, Ghana is governed by laws, and if you feel that the court didn't do a good job by its ruling, you are obliged to to seek redress, and they are just trying to do that. But that does not actually take away the facts on the ground, because we as NDC, we are a law-abiding party, and we knew right from the word go that this is going to be the outcome. Whoever is going to sit on the case will by all means rule in favor of the NDC, because we have electoral laws. CI 127 Regulation 43 makes it clear how elections are supposed to be declared. Now, the basic questions that came up is that, was it followed? No. How was the election that made him the MP declared? It was shrouded in secrecy. We had quite a number of polling stations through what means we are unable to verify the result that they used in the collation. They did the collation at the blind side of key stakeholders like the NDC parliamentary candidate. So that does not augur well for democracy. So it was clear from where we sit in our case that this particular election that was declared for the MPP in Pandai was nothing but a rigged elections. And we are a law-abiding party. We will not use violence to press home our demands. We'll use the right structures in the country, that is going to court, ensuring that we prevent the evidences for a jury to assess and determine. The court has ruled in our favor because the court has seen merit as against that of the MPP, because the court will not just use that. They are going to look at and assess the regulations, the rules that governs elections, and then apply the evidences accordingly. So for them to go for appeal or whatever, it is in their right. But as we speak, we in the NDC, we have already started activating our body camera to ensure we go to Pandai to make Pandai green for the NDC.
All right. Now, the NPP is alleging that the judge seems to have something against them because they filed for the, he has ruled instead of for the rerun to take place in all 152 polling stations instead of 41 polling stations. What do you make of that?
Of course, you know, the rules are clear. The rules are clear. If those that they are asking, the 41 or 52 polling stations, they themselves have admitted, that means there is an admission that there were some kind of issues that were unlawfully done in those 41 or 52 polling stations. So what that means that it's an admission on their part. So if there's an admission, it is most likely that it was replicated across other polling stations. So if they have an issue, if they think that they won the election free and fair, why won't they be in position to avail themselves again for the people to give the final verdict? So it's just an admission that what was on edge in those 52 polling stations, they have admitted that, and they are now running away because definitely if you interrogate the numbers from the other polling stations, those numbers are similar. Let me tell you, we have 27 electoral areas. These 27 electoral areas, we have assembled men in these 27 electoral areas. And out of these electoral areas, we can tell you authoritatively that the people in these 27 electoral areas, we can say about 20 electoral areas are dominated by NDC people. We can say that. So if they think that they want it free and fair, they should make themselves available for a rerun. So it is their right to say whatever they want, because if a dog is being hit by a bullet, definitely you don't expect the dog to walk normally. So that is what they are doing. So we are ensuring that we go to Pandai to ensure that we make Pandai green for the NDC.
All right, Dr. Bukari, finally, of what importance would this be for the NDC given your 2/3 majority in Parliament?
Yes, it will be important because we want to send a word to the outside world that elections need to be won free and fairly. Irrespective of our numbers in Parliament, elections need to be done free and fair, and whoever deserves to represent the people must be the person who represents the people. We should not allow rigging of elections or denying the people of their right representation in Parliament. So ensuring that we uphold the mandate of the people is also contributing towards ensuring democracy in the country. So our focus is to ensure that we re-emphasize the need for us to be a democratic country, so that we don't allow rigging of elections.
All right, thank you for your time this afternoon, sir.
Thank you so much. I'm grateful.
Right, that was the Northern Regional Director of Elections and IT for the NDC, Dr. Arnold Mashood Abukari. Now, in more news, former Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia continues to dominate the New Patriotic Party's presidential primaries scheduled for January 2026, according to a new survey conducted by Global Info Analytics. The poll conducted between 17th and 21st November 2025 among 3,500 delegates across all 16 regions shows a slight decline in support for Dr. Bawumia and Kennedy Ejapon since October, but the former vice president maintains a decisive advantage. Regional Dynamics reveal that Dr. Bawumia leads in 13 regions, with Kennedy ahead only in the Volta region, while the Central region is statistically tied. The survey also highlights shifts in voter allegiance since the 2023 primaries. Around 11% of Kennedy Japon's previous supporters have shifted to Dr. Bawumia, while Dr. Champon captured 4% of Bawumia's and 5% of Kennedy's prior backers. Favorability ratings show Dr. Bawumia at 92%, up 1 point from the previous month, while other candidates saw slight declines. Additionally, 59% of delegates believe giving the candidate a second chance could enhance the party's prospects in the upcoming primaries. From Global Info Analytics on your screens. Joining us on the line is Senior Analyst at the Global Info Analytics, Salam Nsia. Good afternoon, sir, and thank you for joining us. Hello, sir.
Thanks for having me. Hello.
Right. Good
Can you hear
afternoon. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Right. Now, we'll come to this, but I want to take you to Pandai for a brief. Now, looking at the voting patterns over there, should a rerun take place, who is likely to win?
I think this is the second time MPs is holding Pandai. That means that before it was with NDC. But the issue with if and when there is a runoff is that, you know, since the government is still in the early stages, they still have some goodwill, and the party, I mean the NPP party, because of the primaries and all that, is a bit fractured. So there's a chance that NPP might struggle to hold that seat if and when there's a runoff. Just like Abdulmanaf and Akutia. It doesn't necessarily mean that in the general it will be the same, but there are dynamics that prevail in by-election and runoff that necessarily doesn't prevail in the general elections.
All right. Now, with regards to your poll, your survey conducted this month, concerning the upcoming NPP primaries. Despite a slight dip in support for Dr. Bawumia, he still leads in 13 regions. What key factors could be accounting for this?
Yeah, as I said, the fundamental hasn't changed much. You see, if you check the key thing to look at in determining how they are likely to vote is those who are saying that giving the second chance to the previous candidates will be helpful. And you're having like 59% of them saying that bringing the previous candidate again will enhance their chances. So you should expect that it will filter through all the regions. If you look at our margin of error and what the 59%, you could say that maybe you could be hovering around 55, between 55 and let's say 59. So it's not like the fundamental has changed much. People still want to give him a chance again. So it will definitely show in the regions.
Now let's take a look at Kennedy Japan. The survey shows that he's leading only in the Volta region and has a tie in the central region. What explains these specific regional patterns? What explains it?
Yeah, I think he has some kind of favorability, good favorability in Volta. You know, the last time in 2023, he won Volta. So I think he still sort of has kept his base there. Central is his home region. And for the fact that he is virtually neck and neck means that Ken is struggling, because ordinarily we expect that he should carry his own region handily. If you check Northeast, former Vice President he virtually gathering all the votes there. So it shows that Ken is struggling a bit to hold up to or even improve on his performance to 2023 performance. That's what is happening. It means that so even though people felt the Vice President didn't do well, his performance was pretty unprecedentedly bad, but they still want to give him a chance. So it will still be showing in even regions that his main competitor will be, or is supposed to be his home region.
All right. Now, your data indicates notable movement of delegates since 2023, including 11% of Kennedy's past supporters shifting to Dr. Bawumia. What does this say about changing loyalties and the issues influencing delegates?
Yeah. As I said, it shows that because Ken is losing more voters to Bawumia compared to Bawumia losing to Ken, it just shows that Ken has become a weaker candidate compared to what he did in 2023. You see, he's around 18, 20, maybe he might come to, finally he might come to around 2030. He will still be like 7% below what he did in 2023. And the thing too is that normally you expect the runner-up candidate in the previous election to consolidate the votes and actually do better. But it looks like he's losing to Bawumia, he's also losing to the other candidates, especially Brian. So he's become a bit weaker than some of us thought.
All right, now let's talk about Brian. What is making these delegates shift to him?
Oh, he's a known party financier. He's been all over the place, and that's why in the region people know him. He's a bit younger. Sometimes I think that if it was a matchup between himself and Dr. Bawumia, he might have done better compared to what Ken is doing, because Ken, much as he's seen as a 97th candidate, he also has a high floor, as in his attitude and his commentary and all that can easily turn people off. Now, when people are easily turned off because they don't necessarily want Dr. Bawumia, they might vote for the next best candidate they think is available, and that happens to be Dr. Brian Champo.
All right. Thank you for your time this afternoon, sir.
Welcome.
Right. That was senior analyst at the Global Info Analytics, Salam Ntia. Now, in more news, a staff member of the Electoral Commission, Joseph Blankson Adumaji, has formally petitioned President John Dramani Mahama to initiate the removal of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensah, and her two deputies, Dr. Bosman Eric Asari and Samuel Tete, citing alleged misconduct that he says threatens the credibility of Ghana's electoral system. In a statement issued on Monday, November 24, Mr. Adumaji confirmed that the petition was submitted in line with Article 146 of the 1992 Constitution, which outlines the procedure for removing heads of independent constitutional bodies. Although he declined to disclose the full details of the petition as required by law, he revealed that it is anchored on 12 counts of stated misbehavior. These include allegations of cronyism, abuse of office, and gross incompetence. According to him, the conduct of the three senior officials has eroded public confidence in the Electoral Commission and poses a risk to the integrity and independence of Ghana's electoral process. We'll be bringing you some conversations on this later, but moving on, the scheduled court appearance of former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta and 7 others implicated in the Strategic Mobilization Limited scandal has been delayed after the High Court failed to sit today, Monday, November 24, 2025. The Office of the Special Prosecutor, which had planned to arraign all 8 individuals before the High Court, announced the postponement Nanaya Ofori-Atta and 7 others had been adjourned because the court was not in session on the scheduled date, and that a new hearing date will be communicated to both prosecutors and the accused. This delay affects the 78 charges brought against Mr. Ofori-Atta and the 8 others, which include allegations such as conspiring to manipulate procurement processes and violating the Public Procurement Act. The country director of Amnesty International Ghana, Genevieve Patterson, has raised concerns about the continuous underfunding of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. She noted that across successive governments, the ministry has not been treated as a priority in national budget allocations, an issue she describes as deeply troubling. Now, according to her, according to a critical structure such as the Domestic Violence Victim Support Fund, remains severely under-resourced.
The support fund. Unfortunately, I feel that regardless of the government that has been in power, Ministry of Gender has just never been priority in terms of allocation, fund allocation. And this is a huge issue we have even for the budget for 2026. People need to be more nosy and find out how much have you allocated to the Ministry of Gender for issues of social protection, issues of gender-based violence. You'll see that the last I checked, which I'm sure it's even lower, I heard something like the Victim Support Fund was less than 10,000 Ghana cedis. Now, I don't know how much that is. Maybe it's higher now, maybe it's lower. I have no idea. I can't verify that information. However, it just shows you the priority that government puts on, our safety.
Meanwhile, the country director of Amnesty International Ghana, Genevieve Patterson, has urged religious bodies to report domestic violence cases to the police rather than turning them into counseling sessions centered on prayer and forgiveness, especially when the victim's life is at risk.
want to talk specifically to churches, religious groups, religious bodies, not just Christians, we need to understand that when there is domestic violence, you need to report it to the police. This is not a counseling session that turns into prayers and forgiveness, especially when someone's life is at danger. You need to report it. This is a huge issue I have with some religious bodies, not all. Some report, some don't. Some trivialize it and say, let's pray about it. Let's pray about it and, God will intervene. Are you waiting for the person to die before God intervenes? So I think we need to re-look at these issues. Certain churches discourage divorce. Let me tell you, under Ghana's law, if...
Breaker will be back with business news.
Rent back with the beer open. Come on, come see you. Wait, this guy. My friend, see the form.
It's the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Win cash daily, weekly, and a grand prize of 1.2 million Ghana cedis. Just reload or buy a bundle with Telecel Cash to earn points and stand a chance to win big. Dial *500# or visit the Telecel Play app to opt in and start winning in the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
When is campaign? If you're a baby, many schedule no. If you know, meto etiaka. Inti ene, wono ba no mpe baby amobeda. Oh, na abeka. You did too much money. No matter.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Hey there and welcome to Streets Midday. On this episode, we are at Circle going to ask people a few questions about the new products of Gino. Stay tuned and follow me. Pacho, your friend say. Okay. Inti your first question, one say, we share Gino adverts na. Omo onyumbi ende no omo kan bibi wo ho. Omo kan dey.
No ma Chris hi amenya no. Mabon.
3 sentences, 3 words. Wetin ya ka atwem Gino bibi. Wetin ya ka atwem?
Oh, no be nyu no.
Pacho untimi kan Gino.
Nitimi tu ba. Enyu na nure bi kakla.
Wow. I love Gino. I can't miss this one. Is Gino pepper and onion?
Yes, that's correct. So here's your gifts for it.
Wow, thank you.
Hey Gino.
Tomatoes
paste. Ella, the onion, na pepper wom, bibia wom. What the budget love na ko Gino, we come your love.
Gino.
Perfume rice. I perfume rice now. Different ones, Saba.
But we tomato paste na there, Gino.
As for that, the
perfume
rice. No papa ni
From the break, you're still watching ABC Midday News. We're streaming live on Facebook at ABC News GH_. In the world of business, the government of Ghana has announced that it has received official confirmation from the United States of America that the 15% tariff imposed on Ghana's cocoa and selected agricultural exports has been fully removed. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, disclosed the development in a Facebook post on Monday, November 24, 2025, noting that U.S. diplomats formally communicated the decision to Ghana's mission in Washington, D.C. According to Mr. Ablakwa, the reversal took effect on November 13, 2025, following the signing of a new executive order by U.S. President Donald Trump. The tariff removal rolls back a policy introduced during Trump administration, which had placed significant cost burdens on Ghana's cocoa exports to the American market. The rescission covers not only cocoa but a wide range of Ghanaian agricultural products, including cashew nuts, avocados, bananas, mangoes, oranges, limes, plantains, pineapples, guavas, coconuts, ginger, and assorted pepper. Government officials estimate that with Ghana exporting an average of 78,000 metric tons of cocoa beans to the U.S. annually at a spot price of about $5,300 per metric ton, eliminating the tariff could yield an additional $60 million, approximately 667 million Ghana cedis in revenue each year. Joining us on the line is Chonam Apelu, the Greater Accra Chairman of Association of Ghana Industries. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon and thank you for having me.
Right. Now, the government has announced the U.S. government has removed 15% tariff on Ghanaian cocoa and other agricultural exports. How resounding is this news to you?
Well, it's an extremely welcome news, and we're very excited about it as an association of Ghana Industries. This is because anytime tariffs have been introduced, they naturally increase the cost of production. And what it means is that because it's a very competitive market, it's almost difficult to be able to just pass on the tariff cost to the consumers. So what it means is that it's been a struggling news to wake up to endure a situation where we have to pay an additional tariff as a result of exporting our products to the U.S. market. Because mind you, U.S. it's an open economy, very competitive, products coming from every part of the world. And so that particular art significantly affected our exporters because then their cost of production naturally become very high and they were unable to cope. So this reversal of the policy is extremely welcoming, and our view is that it would allow us to continue to produce and also to help us to reconsider restructuring our strategy around how we export some of the things we produce here. Our desire now is to be able to add value significantly to most of these things we produce so that we can make sure that a lot more value is retained and returned to the Ghanaian economy.
All right, Mr. Pelu, are Ghanaian industries currently prepared to scale production of cocoa and the other listed agricultural products to take over the U.S. market?
Yeah, so that's exactly the plan. The plan is to make sure that we expand production. If you follow the government's policy on the 24 economy, it is heavily anchored on agriculture and production. We're actively involved and engaging the government, making sure that we have access to arable lands across the country to be able to expand commercial farming and production of these products. Our desire is that after we do the cultivation of most of these products, we want to be able to add value, then we can export. So for that, it's a very good time, and we will take full advantage of it as we've already started engaging our members to make sure that they fully produce and take advantage of this new reversal of the tariff.
All right, finally, Mr. Pelu, with tariff-free access restored, what opportunities does this create for local industries to move beyond raw cocoa exports and expand value-added products?
Yes, so that's a good question because, look, Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire together remain the biggest combined producers of cocoa anywhere in the world. Our cocoa beans are always premium. Anywhere we take our cocoa beans is premium. What we're lacking is the ability to add more value before exports. So that's really where our focus is now. We've got people from Brazil who have come, who are interested in our cocoa. We've got people who have come from China, Switzerland, etc., etc. What we really want to do is to make sure that we are adding value to the cocoa beans we are producing, whilst we still insist on producing premium cocoa and expanding not only the quality but the quantity that we are producing, and then making sure that we take advantage of it and adding value to these cocoa beans. What you'll be seeing in the short possible term is that you see that we'll have a lot more of our industries springing up to add value to cocoa. I mean, using the cocoa beans to make chocolate and make all the other things that we use cocoa for. The idea is that by the time we're exporting not raw beans, but actually we're exporting a finished product, which is what will allow us to have the biggest of the values. U.S. market, they are the biggest consumers of chocolate products in the world. So we are still happy to continue to do business with them and export our products to the U.S. market. Look, Ghanaian made chocolate products, Ghanaian made cocoa products are highly sought after everywhere. If you go to Israel, you go to Bangladesh, you go to India, they always like to have the Ghanaian chocolate. So it is really a good time for us to, as an industry body, to expand our production to ensure that we take advantage of all of this goodwill and produce to the rest of the world.
Thank you for your time this afternoon, sir.
Thank you for having me too.
Right, that was the Chonam Atelu, the Greater Accra chairman of Association of Ghana Industries. And that will be all for business news. Up next is sports with James Oheneba Makion.
Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes, so what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
Hello, it's time for Sports on the Midday News with me, James Oheneba Makion. Let's do some national team stories. And Black Queens head coach Kim Las Bjorkegren has announced his 24-player squad for the high-profile international friendly against European champions England next month. The squad blends experienced players with youthful exuberance, with key players like captain Portia Boache, Doris Boedua, goalkeeper Cynthia Kolan, all making the cut. Having qualified for the next WAFCON, this is the only game Kinlass and his girls will get to play before March next year. The team will arrive in the country very soon to begin preparations for few days before they depart to the United Kingdom. England will host the Black Queens of Ghana on December 2nd at the St. Mary's Stadium. Now let's do some Ghana Premier League stories. And Asante Kotoko have been charged by the Ghana Football Association after comments posted on the club's official social media channels following their goalless draw against FC Samatex on March the 11th of the Ghana Premier League. The match had already drawn strong reactions from Kotoko, particularly over the controversial late penalty awarded to Samatex, which goalkeeper Mohamed Kamara saved to preserve their unbeaten run. The club's online statement questioned the decision, insisting the incident that led to the penalty took place outside the box. According to the GFA charge sheet, those comments were deemed insightful and capable of provoking hostility towards the match officials. Kotoko have been given until Wednesday, November 26, 2025 to submit their response. So that'll be all for sports on the midday news with me, James Ohinbamakion. For more sports updates, log on to www.abcnewsdh.com/sports. Up next is international news.
On the international front, 3 suicide bombers launched an attack on the headquarters of Pakistan's Frontier Constabulary in Peshawar on Monday, killing 3 paramilitary personnel and injuring at least 5 others, according to local authorities. The attackers reportedly opened fire as they forced their way into the compound. Now, the attackers opened fire while they forced their way into the compound before throwing explosives inside the facility. Security officials said the first explosion struck at the main entrance, enabling the remaining densely populated part of the Khyber provincial capital was quickly sealed off by army, police and additional law enforcement units amid concerns that more attackers could still be inside. Injured personnel and civilians were transported to Lady Reading Hospital, where emergency teams provided treatment. No group has claimed responsibility, but the incident comes amid an escalation in militant activity. That's all for international news. Up next is entertainment news. Entertainment veteran Ghanaian actor William Ado, widely known by the screen name Apache, has died aged 72. His family confirmed his passing in a statement on Facebook on November 24, 2025, noting that he passed away peacefully on 22nd November after a prolonged period of ill health. Ado was a familiar face to generations of television audience. His comic flair and commanding presence made him one of the standout performers in Ghana's television's Thursday theater, where he became a household name. Over several decades, he built a reputation as one of the country's most versatile performers, celebrated not only for his humor but also for his depth as an actor. That's all for entertainment news, and that is all for Midday News here on ABC News Ghana Television. We stream live on Facebook at ABC News GH_. For more news, log on to our website at www.abcnews.gh. I am Peggy Nyakwabano. Enjoy the rest of your day.